What is going on, YouTube? You're back with the Real PG, bringing you another MLB player prop video for today, Wednesday, June the 7th. Before we get into the video, if I could please ask you guys to smash that like button, and if you have not yet gotten subscribed, make sure to get subscribed to the channel and hit the bell for the most up-to-date content, guys. Let's get the formalities out of the way. If you're not over at Sleeper yet, guys, it's a mobile-only app. You can get it from your app store. Tons of perks over here, guys. Real quickly, basically they run on a multiplier system instead of a fixed pay system, meaning that each play carries its own amount of pay. You can get a 1.2x multiplier, a 1.5x multiplier, a 2x multiplier, and the multiplier is in relation to the juice on the line. Okay, I'm not going to go any further into it. You guys know how a multiplier system works. If you don't, you can look it up. Outside of that, they don't bump lines like Prize Picks does, so you don't wake up and like already the lines are a half a strikeout higher or a half of an inning pitched higher, and then they bump it even more throughout the day. No, Sleeper only bumps their lines when the books bump themselves. So until the sports books make the move and bump these lines or bump the lines down, up, whatever the case may be, then Sleeper will follow suit. So lots of edge over there, guys. If you sign up today using you sign up anytime using promo code capital letters PG, you're going to get 100% matched up to your first $100 deposited, and you're more importantly going to get access to my Sleeper Squad. Once you sign up with my promo code, just head over to my Discord. Link is in the description, and DM me letting me know that you signed up using my promo code, and we'll get you in. The Sleeper Squad gives you the ability to see all of my plays that I share. You can tail them in the click of a button. There is more or less a Discord within the app. Tons of great stuff, guys, but you can find all this on your own time. Let's get into the picks. This is why you're here. Today, not so great. Yesterday was a gift given to us, and it was destroyed by Mitch Keller in one of the best matchups we could have ever had. Let's look at yesterday and what happened. So the Patreon kind of went like this yesterday. Mitch Keller blew the day. Okay, cost me all my lineups. I had Keller in everything. Some big bets too. Sizing wise for what I'm doing, I'm normally betting $10 to $20 per play, and then on these 2 and 3 mans, I'm betting 50, 60, up to 100 with Keller in them, and he just blew the day yesterday. But let's take a look at the picks. So yesterday, this is an average day in the Real PG's Patreon for MLB season. So we had Keller, the outs or the Ks. No explanation needed for why. We all know why. Plus, it was a matchup versus Oakland. Missed. Okay. Eflin outs. Easy cash. Eflin went insane yesterday. Okay. Giolito over his 4.5 Ks against the Yankees. Blew past that. Luzardo over his Ks. This was a tier 2 play. Okay. I do divide them up into 2 different tiers when there's a lot of plays that I like on the day. So Luzardo was a tier 2 play, but he hit. Gausman over his Ks, and another easy cash. We had a tier 1 Prize Picks only play of Eflin over his fantasy points, which was a smash. He cashed that by 3rd inning. Hitter props, Reyes over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Cashed that his first at bat. Jonah Heim was a DNP last night. And then my bomb calls, I had Max Muncy, and then we brought up Freddie Freeman right here. Realistically, you could take a look at Freeman as well, but he's got the exact same stats that Muncy did against Weaver, but he had 4 singles where Max had 2 extra base hits. Freeman hit I believe it was a grand slam yesterday, so Dodgers lefty call was the right call to make. Muncy did have a hit for a double. So the Patreon was a full sweep outside of Keller. He blew a lot of big things yesterday, guys. It's unfortunate, is what it is. We're moving on to today. So that's just a little shout out for my Patreon, what you can expect in my Patreon. Again, link will be in the description of the video if you are wanting to get involved in the Patreon, guys. All right, so we're going to start off. I got 2 for you today just because it's an ugly day and I got to save some plays for Patreon and private plays. So I'm going to give you 2 looks that I do like an awful lot. I think they're probably both going to make the Patreon, but it's early. We'll decide that later as I get a little more time to research. But let's look at Jordan Lyles first and foremost, okay? This is how ugly the day is when we're starting off plays with Jordan Lyles. So Jordan Lyles over 3.5 Ks. I think this is a little bit too low of a line. Let's take a look into some stuff. Vegas line, first and foremost, for Jordan Lyles. Let's take a look, guys. So Jordan Lyles currently sitting at a minus 179 to the over at 3.5 strikeouts, plus 132 to the under. So there is tons of money coming into the over, as there should be. Let's take a look. I did run out of searches, like I said on StatMuse. I did give that little hint on how to get extra free searches. So yeah, we got Jordan Lyles pulled up here. And if we look at the game log for strikeouts, we need 4 today, right? We need 4. Okay. So most recent was 2019. This data is not incredibly helpful, okay? But let's look at this. So 3710553. Okay, it's pretty ugly for the most part, but you got to look. These 2 games, he only played 2 outs. So 2/3 of an inning in both of these games. Okay, don't know if he came in relieving. Don't know exactly what happened because he had 2 hits here. He had no hits here, so I don't know. Injury, not sure. Anyways, these 2 games, if you remove these are the games with 1 and 0. So really, we're looking at Jordan Lyles having strikeout counts of 3, 7, 5, 5, and 3. So that's 3 out of 5 have hit. The other 2 have hooked short. And these games came in 2011 through 2019. Again, not insanely helpful, but it's an idea of what we've got to expect from Lyles in this spot. So we have strong juice for Jordan Lyles strikeouts at minus 179 to the over. We have a history showing he's capable of hitting that over at roughly a 60% rate. And he's been right where he needs to be, a hook short in the other 2. So let's take a look on props.cash. He's going to be playing away today, guys. Let's pull it to the full season here, make sure we're not missing anything. So this is all of his away games this year. He has so far hit 4 or 5, as you can see, with totals of 4, 5, 4, 2 against Milwaukee, which is kind of crazy, even though they really do struggle against lefties more so. The Brewers do strike out an awful lot, so really not too sure what happened with Lyles this game. But bad games will happen. A la Mitch Keller yesterday. Shout out to him again. But yeah, outside of this one game against Milwaukee, he's seen some relatively tough teams. Texas has got good hitters. They weren't as strong early in the season. The Angels, you got some big name hitters. Minnesota, an easy team to strike out for righties. The best team, actually the easiest team to strike out in the league, but they may not have been back in April. So yeah, and then the White Sox, who another team kind of middle of the road. So let's take a look where Miami falls as far as strikeouts go to right-handed players. So Miami is, I believe, middle of the league. Yeah, so they come in literally dead center almost, a little bit under the middle point. So they're among the bottom 50%, the more difficult 50% of the league, but they're right on that fringe. So at a 22.8% K rate, over 1,742 at-bats so far this season. So approximately 1 in every 4 to 1 in every 5 players is going down to the strikeout. I expect if we go back to look at what Jordan Lyles pitch out scenario was, how long he played, 4 innings, 7 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings. So we can expect, somewhere between 5.5 and 6 innings. You roughly are going to see 4 to 5 players per inning on average for, a pitcher like Zach Davies. So that's he'll see approximately 25, 24 batters tonight is my guess. And consistency-wise, yeah, that seems about right. 28, 22, 31, 27, and 20. So I think 25 is a pretty fair number. 1 in every 4 to 1 in every 5 is dropping to the strikeouts. So that would mathematically, if looking at it, put us around 5 strikeouts tonight. We need 4 from Lyles. So we got a history that is a little bit suspect, but it's nothing terrifying, but it's nothing great either. We have a middle of the road Miami team as far as strikeouts go, but then we have Jordan Lyles, who's been very strong on the road this year, getting over the number in 4 of the last 5, and he does have the mathematical probabilities based on the strikeout percentage on his side, which is why the line is what it is. Opened at minus 165. It was currently minus 173 or whatever we said. So a little bit more money has moved into the over. So my first play today is going to be Jordan Lyles over his 3.5 Ks. And let's move on to the second one. This one is going to be a little more controversial, but I am taking it just because I feel like the line is just way too low for any MLB pitcher. So let's take a look. We're going to be looking at Zach Davies over 2.5 strikeouts, guys. Over 2.5. And he does face Washington today. So let's take a look, though, at Zach Davies and what his Vegas line looks like as of right now. And we do need to watch this movement as the day goes. But Zach Davies currently sits at minus 163 on Pinnacle. Let's head over and double check on DraftKings what they have him coming for. Let's see. Strikeouts. Zach Davies. Where you at? Where are we at, Zach Davies? I just saw you before. Really? Did they pull him off the board? Oh, right here. Minus 200. Okay, so there is a big discrepancy between the lines. Either way, monstrous juice to the over, okay? Monstrous juice to the over, guys. And let's take a look at what Davies has done. He's not made many starts yet this year. So this is his overall, all 4 games he has started so far this year. Line at 2.5, he has cleared this line every single game, okay? Despite facing difficult teams, the Dodgers twice, who really don't strike out an awful lot, especially at home, but they do strike out on the road. He got him once on the road, and look at that. Sure, he struck him out one more time than he did at home. That makes sense. Boston, another team who really doesn't strike out a ton. And then Colorado, and he played them. He did not play them in Coors. He played them at home. Okay, so basically we've got a 4 for 4 Zach Davies. Minus 155 opening line, currently sitting between minus 160 and minus 200, depending on the book you're looking at. I prefer to use Pinnacle as they are like the world's leading book and generally will lead the movement. So based off of that, lots of money flowing to the over as expected. Let's take a look what Zach Davies has done in the past in this matchup, and then we're going to dig a little farther. So he has had 6 games against Washington in his career. His most recent game was with Arizona in 2022, and he put up 7 strikeouts. Okay, again, different team last year, but we'll get into that. Been pretty consistently facing around 24 to 29 batters, so let's keep that in mind for just a mathematical breakdown once we get a percentage on stuff. Not that that means anything. I just like to do that for my own, like, kind of a supporting stat to a stat, if that makes sense. But yeah, so we've got totals of 7, 1, 4, 7, 3, and 9. So he has cleared this in 5 of 6 games in his career, guys. So here's the only issue with this play, why it's not an absolute slam dunk. All right, so if we go to the strikeout rates of right-handed pitchers versus Washington, they're the most difficult team in the league to strike out currently for righties at 19.1%. And that might be shocking to some of you guys that they are really that tough to strike out, because they have been striking out. You know, it's not like they don't strike out. They're still striking out at almost a 20% clip. That's 1 in every 5 batters. That's not much of a difference from, Even this 20, the top of the list, 25%, that is a big gap in terms of baseball, but a 20 to 25% gap is very, very small, guys. So even though they are the most difficult matchup in the league, and that's going to be a big reason for why you wouldn't take this play is because they're the most difficult, they're also still almost a 20% strikeout team. So say Davies faces 25 batters today, one in every five falls to the K approximately. He'd have five strikeouts. That's been pretty consistently where he was in the past too. Um, 9-3-7-4-7-1. That averages out somewhere in that 4 to 5 range probably. I'm not gonna do the math, but right around there. So tough matchup to say the least. We only need 2Ks though. He's gotten there in 5 of 6. He's got a Vegas line blowing through the roof on DraftKings at least. Very high still on Pinnacle. So I think this is going to be my second play today that I'm going to be working with for a 2-man over on Sleeper. And take a look. I can tell you guys just it's hard to show you obviously because it is mobile only. I'd love to show you the app because the app itself is great. But let me tell you what that play would net you, just so you can see out of curiosity what the payouts kind of do look like. So Jordan Lyles over 3.5 strikeouts and Zach Davies over 2.5 strikeouts gives you a net 2.4x for your 2-man. So if you were to bet $10, it would pay out $24. $24.30. So just under what Prize Picks would pay you, but over on Prize Picks, let's take a look. Let's actually just do this and let's make this comparison. So for a literal 0.6% difference, so instead of getting $30 paid out to you, you're getting $24 and some change paid out to you. So here's what we're working with for a difference. Let's see, can we find them on the board even? Let's just search them this way. Lyles at 4, okay? So he needs 5 to cash on strikeouts, okay? He needs 5 to cash you on Prize Picks. That's a huge difference between 4 cashing us on Sleeper and 5 to cash on Prize Picks. And let's look at Zach Davies. I'm assuming he's going to get 3. Yes, huge difference. So he needs 4 to pay to cash you out, and he needs 5. And on Sleeper, we need 3 and 4. And we're literally getting paid $5 less off every $10 we bet for that strikeout edge. Like, are you serious? Why would you ever be playing over on a site like Prize Picks at this point? You're literally giving your money away. Sure, they pay you a couple dollars more, but with the way they bump the lines, it just doesn't. It's not smart betting, guys. It's not smart betting because look at you bump this to 3, and all of a sudden you got 2 pushes and a hit. You look at Lyles, who they've got at, was it 4 or was it 4.5? I believe it was 4. So let's look at his Ks away at 4. So he'd need 5 to cash. He's only cashed you twice then, guys. We got 4 cashes turned into 2. Same thing with Davies. It was 4 cashes. That would be turned into 2 cashes based off of that bump. So you'd be going home with a refund on Prize Picks, and you'd be going home with a 2.4x win on that 2-man over at Sleeper. This is why we've made the move, guys. My Patreon took a giant hit because people don't like change. People don't want to make that move. But there was a good reason for why I took the Patreon to Sleeper, guys. It is definitely going to be one of the leading sites in a matter of very little time. They are doing all the right things for what the bettor would want instead of what the book would want. So with that being said, those are the plays I got for you today, guys. Like I said, I gotta leave some plays off because I got to keep stuff behind the paywall for Patreon. If you're curious about the Patreon, guys, feel free to come on to Discord and ask me any questions you have. Otherwise, again, the link is in the description for the Discord to come over and let me know that you've signed up with Sleeper with my code so I can get you into the Sleeper Squad. If you have any questions about the Patreon, again, you can hit me up on Discord. The link for the Patreon will be below. And anything else, feel free to comment. Otherwise, until the next one, best of luck, guys, and peace.